Hi, this is Nick from Pathway to Oz. Today I'm going to discuss with you New South Wales State Migration. We're going to talk about, the process, eligibility requirements, why it is so popular, and how it could benefit you. So what is state migration? State migration or state nomination is what's required to apply for the skilled nominated visa or the state nominated visa, Subclass 190. So this is a permanent visa that allows you to live and migrate in the state that you intend to go to. There's a separate video on the Subclass 190 visa. I'll put the link in below if you want more information specifically on that. So each state or territory around Australia has their own specific occupation list. So the states have identified these occupations as in demand in that particular state. These lists are separate from the medium to long-term list and the skilled occupation list. So what are the requirements to apply for this visa? Well, obviously you need to meet the standard general skilled migration requirements. So you need to be under 45 years of age, have a positive skills assessment, meet the English test requirement or, help be a native speaker. You also need to meet the New South Wales nomination requirements. So your occupation must be on the New South Wales occupation list. You must receive a minimum of 65 points on the points test. And also certain other occupations will have, additional requirements to this. You can check those out on the state occupation list. So what's the process of applying for state migration? Well, firstly, you need to pass a skills assessment. This is pretty much a requirement for any permanent visa. Once you've passed a skills assessment, you can then lodge an expression of interest through immigration's website. On the expression of interest, you will need to select New South Wales as the state or territory that you'd like to go to. Once you've submitted your expression of interest and calculated your points, you'll then just need to wait for New South Wales to send you an invitation. So there's no set time frame of when you can expect to receive an invitation. You'll be put, in a bit of a waiting list or a queue with other candidates, and New South Wales Migration will select you based on their, requirements. That's probably the most, frustrating thing about it. You don't know exactly how many points you need or exactly what they're looking for or when you're going to receive the invitation. Once you do receive an invitation, you will then have 14 days to provide New South Wales Migration with the requested documentation. This will include things like your skills assessment, English, work experience, passports, that sort of stuff. If New South Wales Migration like what they see, they'll then send you an invitation to apply for a permanent skilled and nominated visa. So how does New South Wales Migration select the applicants? Well, look, just because your occupation is on the New South Wales Migration list and you meet the requirements, it doesn't guarantee that you'll get an invitation. Certainly recently we've seen it become increasingly more difficult for applicants, particularly in Sydney, to receive an invitation, as obviously New South Wales is quite competitive and the process is quite difficult. So you never really know, no matter how many points you have, exactly when you'll receive that invitation. New South Wales generally selects the highest ranking candidates who meets the New South Wales nomination criteria in each specific occupation. They don't necessarily select the highest points. So someone with 85 points as an accountant might submit it to New South Wales Migration, and there's no guarantee they'll receive an invitation. They instead might pick the hairdresser with 65 points or the carpenter with 70 points, etc. New South Wales Migration considers obviously that your occupation is on the New South Wales, state occupation list. They'll also consider things like if you're working and living in New South Wales, your experience in the industry, your points test score, your employment references, and a bunch of different things like that. Obviously, this is a lot of information to take in. New South Wales migration is quite, complex, and there's no sort of exact, quota or exact requirements for it. As I said before, recently it's become increasingly difficult to receive New South Wales migration, particularly in Sydney, or New South Wales invitation, particularly in Sydney. So I'd always recommend giving yourself the longest possible opportunity to submit that invitation before your visa runs out. If you have any questions about New South Wales migration or other visa requirements, feel free to contact Pathway to Oz.